Hey, Phantomaniacs! Welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Monster Force Halloween continues. Last week we took a look at Declan Van Helsing, Dracula, and a couple of the troop builders that are the good guys of this line. This week it's all the villains, starting with their leader, the Forgotten King. Now, I have already reviewed a Forgotten King figure. You can go back and check this one out. This was the Joe Fest exclusive. It glows in the dark. It is fantastic. It looks awesome. The translucent plastic is great. Big fan of this figure. And now we're going to see the fully painted, fully realized version of the Forgotten King, the source of all evil in Operation Monster Force's mythology. Back of the box, you've got a cross sell. I don't think I mentioned how awesome it was that they're putting a cross sell on this. Like, even though you're not going to walk into a Target or a Walmart and just grab these figures, I do think it's great that the rest of the line is represented here. I'm not going to read the whole background here, but just know the Forgotten King is returned, and it's not good for humanity. You've got a comic on the inside, kind of describing this guy's deal, and then of course the figure on the other side over there. Let's get down to business. I have been this line blew me away last week. If you haven't watched those reviews, you should, particularly the Declan Van Helsing review, because that was the first figure from this new line. So I really got deep into sort of the differences and everything. The details, like really got more into it. Here, I'm just going to take a look at kind of the surface of the figure, which, by the way, I'm already noticing. Okay, no, they are that detailed. I was thinking on the package art, it didn't look like these buttons had that paint on them, but it just doesn't show up quite as nicely there. These are heavily detailed, high-quality figures thus far. Every figure last week pretty much blew me away. I will say the Dracula, while I really dig it, I think it's a cool figure, wasn't as mind-blowing as the Delta Reds and Declan Van Helsing, but it's just because there's less to the figure. For what it is excellently executed. And this one, the Forgotten King, is kind of going to be along the same lines, and we'll get into why in a moment. These have so far proven to be very sturdy, but I'm not going to let that make me careless with them. But I'm also not going to handle them with kid gloves because, as I mentioned in my review of the new Super 7 Reaction Plus Crimson Guard Commanders, or Tomax and Zaymot, you don't want to be too careful with this kind of stuff because you want to know up front if you're going to have any issues with it, because if you need a replacement, you don't want to find out a year from now, oh, I should have thrown this thing around a year ago because now I can't get a replacement for it. So these hands, the, I suppose, magic-using hands, are the same ones that came with, oh, wow, lots of hands with this guy. This is cool, and these are not the same. These are a different translucent plastic from this version, presumably because this one glows in the dark, and I bet these do not. But maybe. I guess we'll have to find out before the end of the review. Man, that's really cool, though. I like that these are actually different pieces from the ones we already have. Oh, I guess I should go through what they are. Well, no, because we've got lots of hands. Because look, we've also got gloved hands and ungloved hands. Lots of hands with this guy. He's a hands-on kind of villain. Oh, sorry. So we've got this incredibly detailed mask, clearly Egyptian inspired. But look at, I say incredibly detailed because the front looks really, really cool. But let's zoom in and be mindful that this 4x zoom is going to reveal some minor imperfections and paint swirls and things like that the naked eye is just absolutely not going to see. Like right back here, like I said, just some of this stuff. I can't even see this just looking directly at the figure, just these little speckles and stuff here. Like this is all just manufacturing stuff. But look at the sculpted detail, like the leafing and everything on here. Had no idea any of this was going to be present. And I'm also loving the way that, look, the alternating darker gold up this like sort of tusk looking piece here, and then the trim, just that level of detail in these figures is fantastic. Look at this. We've got, so there's the base gold, and then this darker gold that's the trim, but then right here, I was trying to see if this, because it looks like this is a lighter gold, but actually I think what we're looking at here is that blue isn't placed quite perfectly. So we've got a little piece of sculpt in this regular gold. But again, with the naked eye, I can't even see this right here not quite lining up. And everything else does. Look at the eyes. Very recognizable style on this, but very sinister looking. Now, whether or not we will ever see its actual face, I have no idea. So we've got an all-white, basically an all-white version of Dracula here. Oh, no, wait, no, we don't. I am wrong about that. So they are similarly dressed, but their coats are different, weirdly. Why make them... That's so weird. They're so... Well, really, even their coats are the same, but their vests and ties are different. That's wild. So this overlay is a different piece, but it's just the vest that's different. The coat is the same sculpt. Why make them so similar? I'm trying to see if that... Look at this. His belt buckle is painted. The vest maybe is a separate piece that's... yeah, look, I think it is. So this is just like plastic welded or however they would put these two kinds of things together. Very interesting, though, because if you look, I mean, the sculpt on the vests is absolutely different. But aesthetically, these characters are very similar. And they're using, assets. You've got this same from... Well, it's all the same. The whole lower body, the arms, really the only thing that's different is the vest and the tie piece, or shirt collar and tie piece. So what you can look at this as a wise reuse of assets, trying to make the two opposing characters have some symmetry. Or you can just say, oh, they're just being cheap and using the same stuff for two different characters. And you know what? Guess what? It's a toy line. You've got to make the best use of your assets. If you're not okay with that, then I don't know how you're collecting toys in the modern day, to be honest. And if you are okay with that, like I said, that's how you can look at it. Is there's symmetry here. Good versus evil. And that's how I'm going to look at it, because I'm really digging this line and I want to enjoy it. So, as I've mentioned on the other reviews, the plastic is very solid, feels good. Since we're starting a new week and you didn't necessarily watch last week's reviews, though you should, there's a side-by-side with G.I. Joe Classified, which I think is what most people are going to want to know about. And as you can see, and I tend to be really, really picky about this kind of stuff. Like, I can't even put Marvel Legends and Classified on the same shelf because they just, to my eye, they do not match. There are a few Marvel Legends portraits that I can put on Classified bodies and be okay with, but even those aesthetically are too different for me for the most part. So when I say I'm comfortable, this one's seized up a little bit. I'm going to heat that up before I move it. When I say I'm comfortable putting these side by side, that is, to my eye, these work together. Both scale-wise, aesthetically, profile and everything. Well, even the portraits, though. So yeah, all the plastic feels good. Everything functions as it should. The coat is a softer plastic material. So you can get some movement out of those legs. However, they're slightly restricted, but that's just the nature of this. And if you get a little turn out of the waist there, I mean, you can get some dynamic poses out of this for sure. And the pure white of this character is going to look great on the shelf. Not a ton of just pure white garbed characters like this. That detail on the bottom of the boot. So striking figure, looks great. Of course, the white on the villain is a thing that you see from time to time when we're trying to break the norms. Good guys don't always wear white. Bad guys don't always wear black. All right, so that's the Forgotten King. Let's see what all the figure includes. We've got a staff accessory here that was also included with that clear figure. The top portion is a softer plastic, but it is rigid enough to retain its shape. And look at that. Beautiful. Oh, look at the glow in the eyes. The detail on that skull. Very cool piece. All the wrappings and everything. We've got another end that's going to go on here. Excellent piece, and matches the headpiece on the figure. Oh my gosh, these bags have given me trouble for some reason. Just the Dracula and Forgotten King bags, though. The other ones I think I was able to get open pretty easily. All right, here we go. A multitude of hands in this set. The gloved hands look great. We'll take a look at those in a second. So gloved, magic hands, and then ungloved hands, and oh, that's interesting. Why are there two of those? Take a look at that in a minute. So the ungloved hands, you've got C-grips, a couple of gesturing hands, or holding, depending on what you've got accessory-wise. And then fists for punching. And then the spell casting hands, the same assortment there. Additionally, you've got some flat hands. And then finally the gloved hands, which I think is what I'm going to go with on the figure. You've got fist for punching, C-grips, and holding hands. No flat hands on this one, but you can see that detail on those. Really cool looking glove detail. So I think I'm going to give him a C-grip. But see, the temptation now is I want him casting a spell with one hand and holding his weapon thing in another hand. I think that's what we're going to do, because we've got also these spell effects that of course look very similar to some stuff we've seen in Marvel Legends, but are heftier, have more detail to them. And again, are a different plastic from our glow-in-the-dark guy. As you can see, this is much more translucent. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with spell effect. Which, by the way, I like these work. I like the way these work, because there's a little bit of a ridge around the edge of the sleeve here. So when you get this on, it actually kind of pops into place, so it stays put. So yeah, I think we're gonna put that hand on there. And then got to get the other end of... Are these just two of the same piece? That's interesting. I wonder if this is just extra. Like, oops, we gave him an extra piece. Because these are almost identical. I can't imagine a reason for there being two included. So that is going to go onto that peg. The peg is a little too big. There we go. But it works eventually. So now you've got this staff bladed weapon combo here. And we'll put that in that left hand. Oh, the gloved hand. Oh, no, it's not. I was going to say it seems like it might be a little stiff, but it is not. So something like that, I think, is the shelf look that I'm going to go for. Because you got to have that beautifully detailed staff. I want to have the little magic effect. I like the difference of, you know, oh cool, look, clear translucent parts on this guy. And then, of course, these all come with some pretty nice stands. I'm not a stand guy, but I do appreciate when they're included. Got some great lettering. I love the font that they chose for these stands in this line. And those pegs go in the heels nice and snug. Like really well designed. And there you go. The Forgotten King, the villain of Operation Monster Force. Pretty awesome looking figure. And looking at all these together, because I've got my other four in the other room, they do look pretty cool on the stands, I'm not going to lie. But I want more dynamic poses than just my feet are exactly 1.5 feet apart on my shelves. So anyway, there you go, Forgotten King. I dig it. Buy one of these figures. Like, find one that you think is cool, or that maybe you could use as a troop builder with your Joes, or whatever the case may be. Order one from Big Bad, check it out, see what you think. I'm very, very impressed with this line, and I can't wait for more. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.